Thanks for staying tuned. It's still iBrandTV, and it's time to talk money on our Money Motivation segment. Now, snail farming, it must be said, is not the first thing that comes to mind when one thinks of a profitable business or a side hustle to start in Nigeria. But it is said that it is one of the most lucrative businesses in the agricultural sector. And if fully explored with various ideas in Nigeria and the rest of Africa, it can be very, very rewarding. Now, joining us to discuss snail farming and the opportunities therein is Henry Joseph, the CEO of Eternal Farms and Agro-Allied Businesses, who joins us via the phone to educate us more on snail farming. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Henry.
Good morning. How are you today?
Very well. Thank you for joining us on iBrand Daybreak.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So talk to us about snail farming. What does it entail?
Snail farming is it's a very lucrative venture in agriculture, but has been neglected due to ignorance. And compared to other livestock,
Henry. Okay. Oh, we lost our audio connection.
But I like the way you started. That
it is a lucrative business.
With livestock, we often think about poultry, and maybe goat rearing among other things, or pigs, in terms of rearing pigs as well. We do not look towards snail farming as much as we do in terms of attention, as much as we give to other ones. And I think that's where.
That's a good place to start from. Yes, but let's take a break now so that we can link back up with Henry Joseph, and then we'll pick up the conversation from there. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you for staying with us. We're still talking money with our focus on snail farming. And of course, with us is Henry Joseph. He is the CEO of Eternal Farms. Thank you for joining us again, Henry.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So let's just pick up from where we stopped before the break, talking about the details of what snail farming entails.
Okay, yeah, snail farming is a very lucrative, one of the most lucrative venture in agriculture, in the sense that is the only farm practice in agriculture that has the lowest mortality rate, and also it has the highest lowest cost of production, in the sense that investment, feeding, because snails are vegetarian, so you can have a snail farm that you will never have to buy food for the snails to eat. You can have them around you. They are very cheap to manage, and they don't consume time. They are not. You can be very busy with your work, and you have it at the back of your house, and yet you can still make a lot from it. It's a very, very prolific livestock, and compared to other livestock, it's very lucrative in the sense that, if you visit restaurants, you visit cafeterias, you see that snail meat is the highest, the most expensive. If you go compared to beef, compared to snail, compared to goat meat, compared to chicken.
Let me come in there, Henry. Why is it the most expensive? Because I was going to ask that question. The fact that cost of production, according to what you said, is minimal, very low. Why is it very expensive when it comes to purchasing snail meat?
Okay, first of all, I would say knowledge. Many people don't know this, ignorance. Many people have so many superstitious beliefs about snail farming. Some will say if you rear snail at the back of your house, you'll be poor. I said it before. And some will say when you eat snails, and when you rear snail where a pregnant woman is, the child will be sluggish. So all those mindsets are making people not get involved in it. And obviously, when people are not involved in it, it's not a venture that you can easily find. Like snail farming, you can count how many snail farms we have in the country, but you can never count how many poultry farms, you can never count how many pig farms, you can't count how many goat farms. So ignorance, awareness of snail farming is what is really making the production very poor.
Okay, let me come in here. You talked about snail farming being very easy to start up in terms of the cost of production. Can you
Yes.
give us a rough estimate of what the cost of production will be for someone who, wants to pick up or invest in the business?
Okay, very good question. You know, every business has their own level. If you want commercial scale, if you want to go very large, you can want to go in subsistence. But on an average, with 200,000, you can start. You can start with 500 pieces of cement at the back of your house. You
So,
don't need big structures. You just need a very few space to do that.
okay.
With 250,000, yeah, you can successfully start a commercial snail farm.
So with 200,000, one can start a commercial snail farm of about 500 snails.
Yes.
Will that cost include, the erected platforms where they stay? I know that those who make use of, tires, that those also try to construct certain wooden, structures for them.
Exactly. That's why I said earlier that it depends on where you want to start from.
Okay.
But the 200,000 naira, you just need there's one thing we call the arch box.
Okay.
It's called a box, like a rectangular box.
Yep.
With those boxes, yeah, with the 200,000, we cover 4 of that
Wow.
conveniently. Yes, we cover 4 of that. We cover
As well
the
as
snails that will
500
be
snails.
in them. Yes.
What about feeding? And also, where do you purchase the snails from? Do you just, I know while growing up, we used to see some snails around the
And
house
you
where
just
you just hand pick and all of that. Is that the method of getting the snails, or how do you purchase the snails? Is there a particular species that you purchase?
Yes, sure. There's a particular species because many people, like I said, ignorant. People go into snail farming and they complain, the snail I bought is not growing. Because seriously, if you want to go into snail farming, you must be very patient. And if you are going to be patient, then you have to be smart about what you are doing. Snails that we pick around when rain falls, they are not the best species for farming. Those ones they are called the garden snails. Those ones takes longer time to grow. So the best place to get snails for farming is through farms, through research institutes, through farms. You can easily know the record of your snail. You can easily know the age of your snail, and you can know the species. Because the best species for snail farming is the Atachina marginata.
Okay.
That's the best species, yes. But as a novice, you can't do it except you go to research institutes or through farms that are ready into it.
Okay, that's the scientific name for, the best species you mentioned. For the layman watching who isn't into the sciences, can you give us,
The local
name of that species?
Okay, that's where the problem is. The local name, we just call it AM. AM, Atachina marginata is short for
okay.
AM. Atachina marginata, AM.
Okay.
There is no
local name.
You are going to talk about feeding. How do they feed? What kind of food do they eat? How much does it cost to feed them?
Okay, honestly, snails are very, very economical in the sense that snails are naturally vegetarians. When I started at first, I did not buy any feed for the first 1 year.
Wow.
How did I
Wow.
do it? Yes, I didn't buy it. That was how I was able to break even. They are vegetarians, like I said. They feed on pawpaw. They feed on fruits. They feed on vegetables. They feed on. So within your backyard, if you have pawpaw in your house, obviously your snails can feed on that. I also have this local Hausa Aboki people that sell watermelon. At the end of their day, I'll go there, pick watermelon, the bags. After the main fruit has been harvested from it, the bags, I'll pick it up, I serve them to my snails. Those things are free of charge. They're even looking for who would pack it for them. So I just go there, I get them with sacks, I pack them, I give them banana leaves, I give them ripe bananas, So you can easily, you don't need don't need too much. Within your environment, you can gather everything needed to feed your snails.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
What's the gestation period for snail, really? Because, you know, someone wants to delve into it. You probably buy them when they're younger, probably 2 weeks or whatever. How long does it take for them to mature to be able to be sold at a profitable price?
Okay, very good question. The before a snail will start laying,
Okay.
is between the age of 8 to 10 months
Oh,
before it starts laying eggs. And when it starts laying eggs, it's called breeder snails. It's breeding.
okay.
That's when you call it breeder snails. Between 5 to 7 months, they are called point of lay, meaning they are about to lay, but they are not yet laying.
Okay.
So when it lays eggs, it takes 25 to 30 days for an egg to hatch.
Okay.
Yes, 25 to 30 days for an egg to hatch.
That's
That's
not
about a
a
month, yeah.
Yeah, and the egg is to be hatched naturally, no physical or environmental condition. All you just need is to put them in a soil
Okay.
that the temperature and the humidity is controlled, is regulated.
Sounds like a very stressless venture, but are these snails, are they prone to diseases? What kind of diseases are they prone to?
Yes, snails are not actually prone to diseases, but prone to pests and predators. And the number one predator of snail is man. Yes, in any farm, human being, we humans are the number one
The
predator.
poachers.
Yes, exactly. After then, soldier ants, termites, and snakes, lizards. These are all the predators. Those don't naturally fall sick. Don't forget they're vegetarians. And anything that feeds on vegetables often, fruits often, obviously you expect them to be very healthy. So feeding them regularly on vegetables, fruits, from my experience, my 6 to 7 years experience now, I've not really seen sickness in snails. They only have issues when they are poorly managed. When they are dirty, when the environment is so dirty, you feed them with fruits and vegetables and you don't take it out. Because snails don't eat stale food.
Okay.
Yes, they don't eat stale food. They are very picky in what they eat. So
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Exactly. Their food must be fresh. So when you start leaving food for them because you believe, this food I gave them is too much, they can't finish it. You leave it there 2-3 days. Flies start coming in. Before you know it, the flies start laying eggs on their skin. Before you know it, start breeding maggots. Mortality comes in and you start having problem. So naturally, they don't have issues. They are very strong and good livestock.
Okay. Growing up, we knew just the black snail and the white snail, so to speak. For those who are for those that are being sold, is it the white snails or the black snails, and what's the commercial value of these colors of snails?
The colors of snails. If you say the white and the black, maybe are you talking about the skin?
The skin. That's
Or
what I
the
mean.
shell?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, when you see a white snail, is normal. It's just an albino snail. There's no difference between the skin color.
Okay.
Are they of the
It's
same
just an
species?
albino. Yeah, they're the same. Exactly, they're the same species. Just like they are the albinos. The white ones are the albinos.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, they're the albinos.
Albino
Yes,
snails.
Yes, albino snails. Yes.
Okay.
And it's caused by nature. You can't control that. You cannot detect that. It just happens. That's how I feel. But they are the albino snails. There's no cause difference between it. And there's no significant taste or palatability when you cook it. They are all the same thing. It's just the skin color.
Okay. Earlier you talked about 8 to 10 months for the snail to mature and lay eggs and all of that. Is it after the laying of eggs that they can be sold to to the market for consumption, and that would put the sales at an annual basis or virtually an annual basis?
Yes, actually, the size of the snail, the good thing about snail is that at every size it can be sold.
Okay.
But trust me, the bigger the size,
The better.
exactly the better. When it's between that 8 to 10 months, it starts laying egg. Yes, we can sell,
Okay.
but you sell them at medium prices.
Oh.
We have them called medium. We have medium, we have large, we have extra large, and we have jumbo. You know, the medium is between the age of 8 to 10 months.
Oh. Okay.
While large is between the age of 10 months to 12 months. While we have the extra large is between 12 months to 14 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so the jumbo kicks up from 14 months upward. That's the jumbo. The jumbos one can weigh 500. Like I have one on my farm now that weighs 800 grams. It's a jumbo. So imagine 200, just few grams to become a kg. So that's how they grow. So the longer for a farmer, for smart farming, because agriculture is about smart farming, it's not about hard work. It's about being smart. If you want to break even in snail farming, you target the dry season. That is when you break even here.
Okay.
Where the medium that can be sold, the medium now can be sold around 400 now.
Okay.
The medium can be sold
400
at
naira, is that what you said?
Yes, 400 to 500 now.
Yes, each snail for 400 naira to 500 naira.
The medium size.
Yeah, medium size, yeah.
Okay. Talk to us about some of the challenges to look out for as someone aiming or proposing to venture into this snail farming.
Okay. Like I said in the part of when I was talking about predator, you see, man has a major challenge. They will steal it. They steal. You know, people are as well. That's the greatest challenge we have. People stealing, and snail is very vulnerable. I can come to your farm now, pick 5 snails, put them in my bag, and walk past you. I'll even greet you. You won't know. They don't make noise. They're very vulnerable. People can come in the night, rob your farm, and you won't know as a security man because they won't make noise. But you can't try that when it comes to poultry. The birds start making noise. The pigs, like my pig farm now, we don't have security in the pig farm because we know they will defend themselves.
So what kind of security are you talking about when it comes to snail farming? How do you put security in place?
We still don't have a choice to use man. We still use man, but we use in one of my farms. We just deployed this camera to monitor the farm, but that's not enough. If human beings are always smarter than technology at sometimes at some level, but if there's no network, our camera will not work. We cannot. So sometimes that's limited, but we still use humans. And secondly, if it is poorly managed, if your farm is poorly managed, you can't control soldier hands, you can't control termites. Termites and soldier hands can destroy a farm of 1,000 in a night. They can ruin the snails, they can kill everything. We just wake up and you find mortality. That's what termites can do, and that's what soldier hands can do. So if you don't have this mechanism in place, if you don't have these practices in place to repel them every time, and I talked about stale food, you don't get the stale food out to replace fresh ones. Management is the major problem. If your management is poor, you will not break even in snail farming.
Okay, just as we wrap up, I would like to get your thoughts on 2 different issues. You talked about, snail farmers targeting the dry season. I would like to know why, as against, the rainy season. That's 1. Then 2, for someone who wants to, either invest in snail farming or take it up as a side hustle or a proper business, what are the pieces of advice you would give such a person?
Okay, from the first question, the why farmers target
dry season as against rainy season.
Yeah, okay. Our major competitor are the local farmers, are the local marketing men, not farmers. How do I mean? When rain is falling, like in the rainy season, they go into the bush to pick snails. farmer like almost a year to breed, to attain that size. A local woman or a local man can just go into the bush, pick that snail, and you want to sell that your own snail because of the investment in it. You want to sell that one snail, for example, maybe someone sell at 800.
Okay.
The local one just goes there and sell at 500 because she does not, she didn't raise it, she just picked it. So in the dry season, these are the challenges we have. So as a farmer, you wait. Wait for them. Don't worry, let them shine. when
I see.
when the dry season comes, you will not shine.
You're the real deal.
Okay.
Exactly. There's no snow to pick anymore. That is when we sell our own, and that is when you break even.
Okay.
Very well, you break even, and that gives you edge over them. So during the dry season, during the rainy season, what a smart farmer does, like I said, agriculture is not about hard work; it's about smart work. What the smart farmer does is that you go to them. Don't worry, keep buying from them. Give them what they want. You keep buying the ones for consumption purpose, because for breeding purpose, it's not advisable to buy from the bush. But for consumption purpose, those that want to do wedding, those that want to do party, you buy from them and you fatten them. You keep fattening them.
Okay.
Take care of them. So when the dry season comes, they stop selling. Do not start selling that. That is what I meant by the dry season and the rainy season.
Okay.
Yes. And for someone trying to, second question, for someone trying to venture into snail farming, one first thing you should consider is, sincerely speaking, you have to be patient.
Okay.
It's not automatic. Like I told you, before your snail start laying, it's going to take 8 to 10 months.
All right, Henry, if you can do this in another 20 seconds, because we have to wrap up, please.
Okay. The thing is just that you have to be patient. Get someone that knows about snail farming. Get a consultant in snail farming like myself and other consultants out there. Consult them. Let them teach you these things because they are months. I can't just come out and divulge 7 years experience on hair. So there are more secrets to it. So I think that's the best our advice.
All right.
Get someone that's been to it and ask questions and seek.
Quite instructive. Thank you so much, Henry Joseph, CEO, Eternal Farms. Thank you for your instructive words this morning.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, have a good day. We'll take a break now. When we come back, it will be time to talk sports. Please stay with us.